Do you have to give up fun food to lose weight? Do you have to give up family traditional recipes to lose weight? Do you have to do fat-free food? Do you have to eat high-protein food? Do you have to take pills to lose weight? What is the truth behind weight loss? You want to stay tuned because I'm going to tell you about Pillar 3. Hi, I'm Coach Maurice, and I'm a CDC certified pre-diabetic coach. Not only that, I have multiple certification in counseling and coaching, nutrition certifications. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I've owned health clubs, personal training studios, so I totally understand the wellness industry. I understand what they do well, I understand what they do wrong. There's not a diet plan I haven't been exposed to. All I do is research and learn and pass this on to the thousands of clients that I've helped around the country for the last 30 plus years. So what I want you to understand from this segment, which is pillar number 3, and we're talking about food. First of all, when it comes to food, understand that there's two questions you need to ask yourself when it comes to weight loss. When it comes to weight loss, the only way you can tell if the weight loss program is actually long-term effective or if it's not is by asking yourself two questions. Number one, if I joined a program today and I look at their whole concept, can my family do it with me? For example, if you go to these companies, and I don't want to mention names, that sell you prepackaged meals, be honest with yourself. You pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, you buy months worth of prepackaged meals, but what's happening at the house? Your family's eating pizza and hamburgers while you're sitting on the other side of the table eating some prepackaged meal heated in the microwave. The question has to be honest. Can my entire family eat this food with me? The answer is no. So why start something that is short-lived? And what happens when you stop buying these prepackaged meals? You're going to gain your weight back. Why? Because you got to go back and live in the real world. You're going to go to birthday parties and want to have cake and ice cream. You no longer have things in boxes measured for you to eat the exact same portions. Question number 2. So the first one is, can my whole family? Secondly, if I start this program today, can I do it the rest of my life? Why do I say that? Because what happens if I stop eating the prepackaged meals? So 1, my family can't do it with me. And 2, if I'm doing a protein shake, if I'm doing the Atkins diet, if they're promoting some protein shakes, how long are you going to drink the protein shakes for? 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks? You're human. You want solid food. So don't buy into all the diets just because all you're thinking about is weight loss. And one last thing I want to add to this comment. Why do we focus so much on the scale? When was the last time you're walking in the mall or walking on the streets and looked at other people in the crowd and guessed their body weight? Nobody does that. So why do we as a society put so much emphasis on the scale? When nobody really knows what we weigh, shouldn't appearance be more important than the scale? So why do we spend so much money and put our metabolism and our body into so much health issues just to lose weight when nobody really knows what you weigh? It should be about inches. It should be about your pant size. It should be about your dress size. It should be about your energy level. It should be about decreasing inflammation and coming off medications. It should be about lifestyle change. The food industry has brainwashed you to believe it started in the mid-50s when McDonald's was created. And the true brainwashing started when Swanson's came alive in the mid-60s and the microwave concept. And their commercials then used to be, you don't want to be like your mother and grandmother standing in the kitchen cooking all the time. We live in the 20th century now, and you can microwave your food, and in 2 minutes you can have dinner. Not telling you that the chemicals in that food is what's causing cancer and obesity and depression and the increase of medications. How do you think they preserve the flavor and the color and everything in the food? Have you ever thought about when you buy something in a can? Think about this. It blows my mind that the average person doesn't think. If you buy a car, let me ask you this first. Would you put diesel in a car that requires gasoline? The answer is no. So whether it's about pillar number 1 when we talked about the water, or whether it's about the food. If your body needs water, why do you put soda and alcohol? If your body needs real food, natural food that God made for us, the 3 walls of the grocery store, the vegetable sections, the fruit and vegetable section, the meat section, and the dairy section, that's where the natural food, most of it occurs, not in the aisles. When you buy a can, think about this. You buy chicken soup, right? How long has that chicken been sitting on the shelf at room temperature? 6 months? 2 years? Look at the expiration date. The average can of soup, 3 to 4 years before it expires. That should scare the poop out of you. How can that chicken look, taste, smell the same way the day they packaged it 5 years later without being in the refrigerator. Did you ever take your chicken out of the fridge and put it on the counter and forgot about it for about an hour or two? Would you dare to cook it then? The answer is no. Why? Salmonella. You're like, oh, it's been outside the fridge for a couple of hours. I don't know if it's safe to eat. You're eating it out of a can. So how do they keep the chicken from poisoning our body because it's been sitting at room temperature for years in a can? It's the formaldehyde. It's the MSG. It's the chemicals that they put in that fluid to preserve it. Most of these chemicals they inject in our bodies after we die, like formaldehyde, to preserve us for the funeral. When you eat out of a can, you're eating formaldehyde that is designed to preserve the human body for the funeral. Can I say this any louder? Can I say this again and again and again? I can end this segment right here and that you should get the message. And yet, as a society, the only excuse we have is, oh, it's convenient. I don't have time. Really? You have time to go to the doctor. You have time to go get surgeries done. You have time to go pick up your medication, spend all your life savings. But you don't have 30 minutes a day to sit down and cook and pack your lunch. I'm not buying it. Where are your priorities? Let me tell you something, folks. Without your health, you have nothing. Without your health, you have nothing. You can't work. You can't pay your bills. You can't be with your loved ones. You can't enjoy your retirement. None of it. And yet we make that last on our list. All we care about is the scale. So what is the truth behind weight loss? When I come back, I'm going to drill deeper and I'm going to tell you the truth behind food and what you should focus on and how I'm going to get you from point A to point Z the natural way.
For almost 30 years, I had a desk job and I was very sedentary. In January of this year, I discovered a program that would help me lose the weight that I had gained and to increase my fitness level. With Maurice and the Wellness Step programs, I learned a different way to eat, a different way to cook. I lost about 40 pounds in. My wife and I worked this together. Together, we have lost about 85 pounds. This is a program that I would highly recommend to anyone. Maurice has worked out not only an exercise program and a program of eating, but he explains everything as to why it works. This is something that anyone who is serious about losing weight should be able to continue and maintain until they reach the level that they really aim for.
In Pillar 3 today, we're talking about food. So which food should you eat? What should you focus on? What you should believe? First of all, I can tell you that carbohydrate is your number one enemy. It's no longer about just the fat intake. It's no longer just about cholesterol. For example, for decades, they told us if you ate eggs and you have cholesterol, you shouldn't eat eggs. Science have proven that to be wrong. Let me make something clear to you. The reason why sugar is the number one problem in the world, the Lord designed the body to consume about 15 to 20 grams of sugar per day. Per day. Keep in mind that if you consume sugar in the form of liquid, it reaches your bloodstream within 15 minutes, like iced tea, sweet tea. But if you consume sugar in the form of solid food, it can take 45 minutes or so for it to reach your bloodstream, which means sugar in the form of liquid can cause more damage than just the solid food because it's instant. 15 minutes, boom, it's causing the damage. I'll explain that to you in a second. You really want to stay tuned. When it comes to food, sugar is the number one enemy. Why? One of the things I tell my clients is, okay, if you want to eat something that turns to sugar, and I want you to keep this visual in your mind. Sugar is not necessarily the crystallized sugar that we add to our coffee and tea and bacon items. Sugar are food. Certain food turns to sugar, like potatoes is considered sugar. Corn, pasta, bread. Also, of course, fruit. Fruit are sugar. We're going to talk about that in a second. And of course, sweets and liquid. All these are sugar. So when I talk about sugar, I'm not talking necessarily about just the sugar table, the table sugar. I'm talking about those type of sugar. So one thing I teach my clients, number one, if you're going to have anything that turns to sugar, never ever have two in the same meal. For example, Don't eat a roll of bread and then order a baked potato with your entree. Some restaurants, franchises, they'll give you bread when you first walk in or chips, and that's the biggest mistake we make as a society. We start loading up on all that carbohydrates, and then we order another carbohydrate with the main entree, whether it was rice or whether it's a baked potato or whether it's pasta. Now you've doubled your sugar intake. Well, you got another problem. In America, we have what we call a dessert. So if you're having an appetizer, bread, baked potato with the entree, and an apple pie afterward, you're in deep trouble. Remember when I told you that our body is designed to consume 15 to 20 grams of sugar to survive? Unless you're working on the farm or working outside, you can up your sugar intake a little bit because you're working and you're burning a lot of it. But if you're like me, you work in an office environment, you're seated behind your desk all the time. That's the 21st century. You need to keep your sugar intake to about 20 grams a day. Why? Because in today's society, the average American is consuming about 150 grams of sugar, and in the early 1900s, we were consuming 20 grams of sugar. And we were more active working on the farms and in factories. 21st century, those things don't exist that much anymore. We're sitting in cubicles. Now we're consuming 10 times the amount of sugar that we did in the early 20th century. This is the number one problem for depression and suicide and obesity and medication. Sugar, sugar, sugar. Rule number one, never eat two carbohydrates items at the same time. If you're going to have the baked potato with your meal, don't have the bread before and don't have the apple pie afterwards. If you want an apple pie, the next time you eat, don't have your baked potato, have like broccoli or pinto beans on the side, and then get the apple pie afterwards. You only get one serving of carbs. That's easy to remember, right? When you tune into my program, you're going to see I'm going to teach you so many great stuff, it'll blow your mind. Now the whole family can do this, and yes, you can do it the rest of your life, the two questions. Right? It's real food. Secondly, never eat carbohydrates at night except, well, I shouldn't say never. 90% of the time, don't eat carbohydrates at night, your dinner. Why is that an important point? When I work with my clients on their diet plan, I'll give them that one carbohydrates at breakfast and I'll give them a carbohydrates at lunch. I'm not against carbs. But why is it that I give it to them early in the day and not late in the day? Because you're moving, you're working. Okay, so the idea is this. When sugar enters the body, you have about 45 minutes to get rid of it. How do you get rid of sugar? Move. Mow the grass, clean the house, walk the stairs. I want you to have that visual that if you're going to sit down and have pasta for lunch and you don't want to fall asleep by 2 o'clock when you get back to your office, you better be planning on walking about 30 minutes to burn a lot of that sugar. Because if you eat the pasta and you go back to your cubicle, I'm going to tell you in a minute what that sugar is doing to your body on the inside. It's going to blow your mind. So understand what food, how it affects your body and when to eat it and when not to eat it. The reason why it's damaging late at night, and especially in the winter when it gets dark early outside, you're not mowing the grass anymore, you're not washing the car anymore, it's cold outside, it's winter. In the winter, avoid all carbohydrates at night. No potatoes, no rice, no pasta, no fruit at night, none of those. Yes, you heard me right. Fruit is a big no-no if you overdo it. Why? If you eat sugar and you go sit on your couch, you have cornbread for dinner, you had apple pie with your dinner, and you had maybe something before dinner, you're loading up on all that carbs, and you go sit on the couch. Here's what's happening inside your body. 3 things are taking place inside your body. First, your liver, which produces the cholesterol, will activate cholesterol production. Yes, when you eat sugar and you don't burn it by moving, the body activates cholesterol production. So if you're taking a cholesterol medication in the morning to lower your cholesterol, but you eat cornbread and ice cream at night, you jack up your cholesterol. So what happens? You're going to be held hostage to that pill the rest of your life. You lower it in the morning, you crank it up in the evening. And this is why the idea of medication is not to be taking it forever. It's until you change your lifestyle. And that's what I'm going to teach you so I can get you off that medication. Secondly, your blood pressure goes up. So if you're taking a blood pressure medication in the morning and you go load up on ice cream and cornbread at night, you're jacking up your blood pressure. So now you're held hostage to that pill the rest of your life. And you'll never lose weight. Last but not least, what happened to all that sugar when you consume it and you go sit on the couch? Sugar is the only ingredient that you must burn it within 45 minutes after you consume it. The body will not store it and uses it the next day. While protein the body can store and uses the next day, fat the body can store and uses the next day, carbs doesn't work that way. So what happens to the carbs? If I eat my carbs and sit on the couch, what happens? Well, the body then activates fat cells production and stores the sugar as fat. That's what's causing obesity. That's what's causing cholesterol and type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. That's what's causing depression because we're fatigued. We can't walk. We can't sweat. We can't do the things that God designed for us to have. This is what's really happening. So never eat carbs at night unless you're planning on working for at least 30 to 45 minutes after you finish dinner. If you're too tired and you want to go sit on the couch, take a shower and sit on the couch, then your dinner should be meat, vegetables, and fat only. No carbohydrates. During the day, it's okay. In the morning, it's okay. At lunch, it's okay, but not at dinner. Learn the truth behind weight loss. Learn how our Creator has designed our body. This is why Coach Maurice will teach you the truth. In my 26 weeks, I'm going to teach you stuff that will blow your mind. And I promise you, I can help you make that permanent lifestyle change. I can't wait to share with you in my next podcast, pillar number 4, and that is movement.
Thank you for listening to this episode of You Can Beat It the Natural Way. Email us if you would like more information. Our email address is youcanbeatitpodcast@gmail.com. You can also visit our website, youcanbeatit.com.